Dan and Amy, question for you. Do you think Illinois' state universities and colleges are underfunded? Do you think the state isn't providing as much support as it should? Because that's what the college presidents are saying. That's, frankly, even what is being given quarter by Rauner administration officials like his state's education secretary, Beth Purvis, who said to the Wall Street Journal last week, "We're in a crisis situation. The next set of cuts will affect outcomes for our post-secondary students." Pretty weak tea. And it's also directionally incorrect. Propagating the left's lie is Beth Purvis. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. You can get where I'm going by my reaction to Beth Purvis's comment about the state of funding for our state colleges, universities. Amy, I know you're considering Peyton and Eli for the U of I.
Well, yeah, it's a great school.
It is a good school.
I mean, the inventors of YouTube went to the University of Illinois.
I'm sold.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
And the creator of the internet went to University of Illinois.
I was sold when Kendall Gill went there.
Oh, yes.
That sold
Kendall
me.
Gill,
But here's the thing. And by the way, now the hiring of Brad Underwood from Oklahoma State, that's a good hiring decision. You may actually see the Illini back in the tournament, so Peyton and Eli could be part of Orange Crush there.
Oh,
if they're not, because if they study the Pete Maravich basketball tapes, like I've instructed them when they grow up to be these gargantuan adults, which they're going to be, they could actually be playing for the University of Illinois, and you could get a free ride, or they could get a free ride, unless you could get a free ride.
Yes.
So if you follow Prof's parenting blueprint, you'd be in good position. All right.
I want them to bring back Chief Alinowick.
Now, that said, this Wall Street Journal story laments the woes of University of Illinois colleges. Campuses already have pressed pause on new construction and stopped hiring for vacant positions. Universities, including Northeastern Illinois, Governor State, SIU, are looking to fixes like hiking tuition, cutting academic programs, or laying off student workers. It's so dire, and it's all the fault of the politicians for underfunding, not providing the necessary resources to our state colleges, universities, right? Is that right? No, it's wrong. Here's the facts. Here's the data. Yet another scam. Yet another scam run by people in charge of a system that they know people are sympathetic to, because everybody wants great colleges, universities, just like everybody wants great K through 12 school systems. And so we won't look at outputs. We'll just look at inputs, and we won't even look at inputs, at least not in context. Because here's the fact. It turns out that the state of Illinois, bankrupt as it is, worst governed in the nation as it is, and this is one of the reasons, because our government meaningfully participates in these frauds that are perpetrated. We provide twice the per pupil funding to state colleges and universities than the national average. Twice. We also provide 30 to 60% more funding for, I should say, despite that fact, the tuition at state colleges and universities in Illinois is 30 to 60% higher than their conference peers. So let me just go to this. So we provide twice the national average in per pupil funding.
Okay.
It turns out that Illinois is in the top 10 of funding higher ed on a per pupil basis. Now, of course, that is part of the problem. We fund things we can't fund, and we just fund them at ever higher levels, and we tax and borrow and spend.
We spend with money we don't have.
Correct.
We've been doing that on a number of levels for decades.
So remember that. Twice the per pupil support as the national average. Here's some tuitions. NIU plays in the MAC, right? Mid-America Conference. University of Akron, 10,320 in-state tuition. Bowling Green, 10,726. Buffalo, 8,426. Kent State, 10,012. Miami University, 14,287. Ohio U, 10,536. Central Michigan, 11,5. Eastern Michigan, 9,6. Toledo, 9,2. Western Michigan, 10,6. Northern, 13,6. Only Miami of Ohio is higher and slightly. It's of the average tuition of the other 11 schools in the MAC, Northern Illinois is 31% more expensive. Missouri Valley. So we're talking about SIU and Illinois State.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana State, $8,400. Missouri State, $7,000. Northern Iowa, $7,700. Wichita State, $7,200. Southern, $12,251. Illinois State, $12,830. Let's go to the Ohio Valley Conference, Eastern Illinois. Missouri State, $7,300. Tennessee State, $6,700. Southeast Missouri, $6,900. UT Martin, $7,800. Eastern Kentucky, $7,900. Austin Peay, $7,400. Tennessee Tech, $7,900. Eastern Illinois,
yeah,
$11,100. The Summit League, IUPUI, $8,900. Illinois University Fort Wayne, $8,000. Nebraska at Omaha, $6,700. North Dakota, $7,500. University of South Dakota, $8,000. Western Illinois, $11,200. Big Ten. Indiana, $10,388. Purdue, $10,000. Ohio State, $10,000. Michigan State, $13,200. Michigan, $13,900. Penn State, $17,500. Rutgers, $13,800. Maryland, $9,400. Minnesota, $13,600. Wisconsin, $10,400. Nebraska, $8,000. Iowa, $8,000. University of Illinois, $15,602. And that doesn't include additional fees like the $3,500 campus fee that University of Illinois tax on. $3,500 quote unquote campus fee. Oh yeah.
Every year?
Yeah. So only Penn State is more in the Big Ten, and 30 to 60% higher is the average in-state tuition for state colleges and universities in Illinois as compared to their conference peers. Let's talk about University of Illinois specifically, and let me explain to you what's happening. 45 years ago, in the last 45 years, I should say, University of Illinois system, so University of Illinois and UIC, 258% more employees. Its annual budget is 389% higher. Its enrollment has grown 28%. Enrollment, 28% increase over the last 45 years, which threw off 258% more employees and a 389% higher annual operating budget that's adjusted for inflation. And here's what's happening in part. You know where this is going, salaries. In 73, Illinois faculty member made, inflation adjusted, $85,000. Today it's $96,000. And I'm sorry. In 73 it was $85,000. In 87 it was $96,000. In 2016 it was $135,000. And that's as reported by the university's faculty salary study. So went from 85 in 73, inflation adjusted, to 135 today. The president of the university in 1971 earned $50,000 or $300,000 in today's dollars. The current U of I president, Tim Killeen, earns twice that at $600,000 before bonuses. So that's part of the discussion, and part of it is just the empire building that goes on at K through 12 level as well as the university level. So I understand you want to build new schools, you want to improve schools, particularly over the course of 45 years. By the way, you have billion-dollar endowments at some of these schools, or serious endowments, even if they don't get into the billions. U of I certainly is. So I get some improvements. I get some expenses as you want to expand your school, to enhance your school. But does it does that provide a defense to all of what you just heard about U of I, as well as all of the other state colleges and universities in Illinois, and how they're being funded as compared to their conference peers? Why can every other state in the Great Lakes do it one way and we do it another way? And somehow it's not enough money here, but it's more than enough money everywhere else. Not only is state support less everywhere else, tuition is lower. State support is more here and tuition is higher. Explain to me how much sense that makes. And you're telling me that University of Illinois can't do it, but Michigan can? Really? Mark in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. First of all, I'm a U of I alumni class of 1987. I don't believe for a second they're underfunded. My nephew is a senior there, and I recall helping him with his financial aid package. They were estimated tuition plus room and board, $140,000 for a four-year degree. So even if just half that's tuition, you multiply that by 30-some thousand students. How in the heck are they underfunded?
Well, right, but I mean, with the empire building and the salary increases and the being used to being on the dole, being used to being on the state's dole, expecting this much. And so they say, well, they're not keeping up. You know, the state used to provide this percentage of our budget, and now it's only this percentage minus this. Well, yeah, because nobody can keep up with your spend. Your budget grew 13 times faster than enrollment over the last 45 years. So the state should continue to keep up with that pace of expenditure expansion? Come on. Ron on the south side.
Dan?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Hey, Dan, real quick, I just want to hit on something a little closer to me. Chicago State. And I read a statement from an old political hack they dug up, Nikki Zoller. This is the statement she said, Dan. This universe has been starved for money, not leadership. But here's the issue. They, I guess, terminated a president, gave him a severance pay that was still questionable. They have been sued twice for whistleblower issue. When one gentleman I know pointed out some questionable fraudulent acts out there. So what the heck is she talking about? See, so this is the problem with these universities. Then I'm very disappointed in Governor Brown. What does he do? Bring back another political hack, Paul Vallis, to go over there. But that's the real issue with these universities. Thanks and have a good day.
Thanks, Ron. Chicago State should be closed. State Representative Jeannie Ives, a Republican from Wheaton, has suggested that. She's right. Chicago State is a joke. 86 freshmen in the incoming class of Chicago State. 86.
No.
The graduation rate over 6 years, 11%. We've talked about Chicago State before. This is just
a colossal waste of money.
This is an employment program for people with political clout. That's what this is, and an employment dumping ground for politicians with political clout. The highest administrator cost in the state, $3,600 per student. That's 80% higher than the average of $2,025 per student at all other Illinois colleges and universities. That's Chicago State versus everyone else, in addition to what they're actually turning out in terms of, students prepared to go on from there to success in the work world. I mean, it's just do you understand? Because you're going to continue to be pigeons, and they're happy to play you for pigeons. If you don't understand, these things are scams by those in charge of the system to give themselves blank checks to forever increase their salaries and benefits packages at your expense, something you can never even dream to enjoy in terms of salaries and benefits. And you want to talk about Robin Hood in reverse that the left likes to demagogue. These are people in Illinois. You have people making $50,000-$55,000, which is the median household income, financing seven-figure pensions and salaries that go up double digits annually, and $600,000 school superintendents and college presidents. I mean, and the fact that some school superintendents make as much as the president of Illinois, just about, is also obscene. And it's Illinois. Those are the numbers. So you make this math work. An engineering student at University of Illinois couldn't, I can tell you that. Phil in the Northwest Side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Great show.
Thank you.
They want to put housing projects in my neighborhood. They keep talking how they're short on money. This is all they say. This is all they say. I run my own truck. If I run my own truck between O'Hare and Midway and Bolingbrook, and I do it daily, it's $500 a week just in tolls. Just in tolls, $500 a week. It's one rig. and $3,000 a year for plates. Look around at all the rigs and all the things that go on around you, and every time they tell you they're short on money, every single thing is taxed. I live in Chicago. I can't even afford to leave. I want to go. I can't put up with this anymore. And I look at this and I think to myself, your show is one of the only shows that screams actual numbers and lets us know what's going on, because every other place you get media from, they all cry broke. And the communists always sell us shortages. Oh, we're short on water. Don't take a bath. I mean, where does it stop?
Thanks for the call, Phil. Chuck in Delavan, Wisconsin.
Well, there's plenty of water in Wisconsin. Hey, let's go where the rubber hits the road. What's the median average income of those kids coming out of the Illinois University compared to the other kids in, say, like Purdue or, say, like Indiana State University, and see what their actual income is for the money? Are you throwing a ton of money at these children once again, and then when they get out, they can't find a job?
Good question, Chuck.